That was before the Three Seas too.
Yes.
Right. I think Three Seas was 1883 or something like that. 18.
Around there. But Liberia is so unique, and that's why it's so sad, because Liberia has now gone down, as somebody said, Shakespeare, I believe, to the vile dust.
Would you go to would you go to Liberia?
I had to go back in 1988.
Okay, 8 years after you got
Those days I had to go back to get our green card. After we worked, I came 1980, worked, and we had to go back. And believe me, I could have gotten in serious trouble, because having worked for the president, and but thank God of my role, I was not there to carry out any subterranean activities and hurt people. So they have my record at the United States Embassy. And when I got there, the first secretary came in, Gerald Richardson, and he hugged me and took me right in to the vice consul. And that's because he used to come to the office the president's son gave me.
Sure.
So I say this to say that we were just fortunate. We were fortunate. But Liberia right now is to the vile dust. And
still fighting going on?
they just not fighting, but it's so corrupt. It's one of the most corrupt countries in the world right now. And you have leadership that mostly blind and have no sense, no maturity when it comes to governance.
Are they fully integrated now?
Oh no, please.
Do you still have that American air?
Big time. It's still there. I mean, number one, you have an Aborigine, a football player, that was put into power by the first female president. As I say, my brother-in-law was her vice president for 12 years.
Okay.
And in fact, I was opportune to have served on her strategy committee to elect her as president. In fact, I introduced her in Reston, Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah. So she took my brother-in-law, he was married to my sister, and quiet man, but he's Aborigine. They want him to go to be elected president now in the election this year. And that's what they're working on. But there are others also. But I say this to say that it's rooted, it would take what you call real, for me, I would say, because I just had about 3 programs on the radio. Mother Isabella Cugner asked me to, because she's a woman conducting prayers for Liberia.
Sure.
But my main thing was the new Liberia should be based on what you call the inculcation of godly principles.
Sure.
Revival, like before, when the colonists, those who left America, almost in the city, almost every block had a church. Even my mother built a church on her property, conducted revivals.
Yes.
When people can come under a civilized canopy,
Sure.
to understand that you have to treat others the way you want to be treated, and that.
But in this, I have to keep interjecting
Yeah.
here. In your case,
Yeah.
you're talking about a black nation and black people treating each other as equal. Is that what you're saying?
That's what we hope for, but
Right.
it has never been so.
So you still have the Afro American, the Native Liberian, still got the gear, still things going on. Like
Of course. In fact, right now, a native is the president. And yes, uh, because it's a two-way street. And in the process of governing, especially when one group had been in power for almost 200 years, and with all the roots, for you will have to directly and indirectly work together.
So then, let me say this way. Like, okay, you have some white folk here that have old money. Perhaps some of them, their family, their great grandfathers or whatever, was plantation owners.
Right.
And
Right.
they made great wealth off of that right there. So in Liberia, you would have some people that got wealth, and they would have come from their journey there, their forefathers' journey there,
Right.
in 1847.
Before then too, but that was when they were independent.
That
They
was-
actually got there. The first, I think, the Nautilus got there 1816.
The Nautilus. Explain
Yes.
who they are.
That was the ship.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we had the Elizabeth and the Strong and others that got there. But the genesis of that trip started around 1816. And but like I say, Liberia once was considered almost the second most peaceful country in the world. And that's how we grew up. We grew up, we inherited the best of Liberia under William Tubman, who was related to Harriet Tubman. And he was, that's his picture over there. You see him all in it. He was one of the world's, the best dressed man almost in the world. You see him in his outfit. There's a blacker than I am. But he was, like I said, the Afro Americans that were not directly from the white slave masters. They were those who said they were going back to Africa too, along with the children of white slave masters.
Sure.
So that was Tubman. And Harriet Tubman, she was dark skinned, So, but that's Tubman. He ruled for 27 years. But he, as I said, he brought integration and unification. He stayed in power. He died like a king, because I was there and I saw the natives rolling on the ground, crying for that man, because...
And he would be considered Afro American.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's a Tubman.
But he looked more like them.
Yes, but he also, thank God, he was the first to say, come on in with all your tribal chiefs, and now you are representative. You can come into Congress. He spoke. He was one of the greatest speakers. They said the representative from South Carolina, they talk almost alike. The one who was instrumental in having President Biden win South Carolina, when he said, we know Joe and Joe know us. That he and Tubman, he got Tubman style. They talk like, when he talking, people call me and say, listen, he talks like Tubman. He got it in his tongue. When Tubman was talking, you get on the radio and you just, and he had that, he was just, the Queen of England loved him so much. Yeah, he was an extraordinary personality.
Well, okay. Well, right now we're going to close right here.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be back.
Amen, amen.
Is there any thing that you would like to say to the audience before we leave?
You mean relative to
Liberia and
African American? I would say that, as I say, the work was started, the mission of the children of free slave masters to, just like United Nations, to put together a system that can effectuate collaboration, working together, and more or less building together, you know. But we as human beings have failed. But in the end, I'd just like to say that for me, I'm looking forward to someone who will be able to put together those principles of governance for Liberia that will bring the people as a whole together, you know, and to more or less connect with Black America. Because when I came first, we established the Liberian African American Coalition, and I met with Donald Payne and all others because one of our proposals was that Africans should not come to America, work, pay taxes, and have to go back to Africa to get green card. That's what I had to do with my whole family, spend over $10,000. And thank God for Donald Payne. They stopped that, you see, because my question was, why the Europeans don't go back to go pick up green card? And I had to go back and go way, I mean, it was just so degrading, you know. But thank God for Donald Payne and members of the Black Caucus who, because, let's just say, in treating others the way you want to be treated, Spike Lee said, do the right thing. So I will leave it on that note.
Again, this is Zachariah Jackson. This was a wonderful education.
Yes, sir.
And I thank you, Reverend,
You too.
for this education. Because this is going to change my mind when I walk out that door. But again, this is Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. Good night.
Amen.